Will you look back when you're old and grey and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, and you know what that means.
What does it mean? What did you say this week?
What do you guys think it means?
No, it's time for Thematically Speaking. This week we've got Retrospective, but not only have we got a Retrospective, we've got Ben from Ben and Holly's Theme Park Adventures, and he's got a cool vlog coming out this weekend, and I won't say any more than that. He's kind of told me some secrets about what he's putting in it, and I've told him what he should put in it, and it's going to be awesome. But first, I want to talk about the curse a little bit before we get into any of this other stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Because I know some people have got opinions on the curse. So what I'll do is I've got some of these photos, and people can say what they want to say. The sneaky ferret's back.
You'll have to excuse me a minute. Hey, sneaky ferret. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around how to get the chat actually on here because it's not showing up. For
Don't worry, I can see it on here.
But we'll just say hello at the moment.
But anyway, let's hide us for a bit. You're going through these photos now. The first thing I want to say is I understand why people do it because they want to get invited to events in the future, and you can disagree with me at home, but I feel like everyone said that these photos look amazing. And there's only one person, I'm not going to mention who, did a video, and he said it doesn't match the advertising. And I thought that's exactly, I don't think any of this matches the advertising. What do you think?
I think the front part does. That bit there looks like the entrance to it at the beginning of the ride, but I'm assuming, I'm not wanting to speculate. But
I didn't mean like what's actually in the advertising. I meant like
I think
the mood of it.
Yeah, I think it is different. But we don't know until on the day, do we? So we can't really...
Well, yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. But
I'm just curious if I'm going to get spooked or not.
I don't know if they've released these because they don't want another Subterra where the marketing's been really good. And then we've expected... Because there's a lot of things people have rumoured about what's in there, and no one knows actually what's in there apart from the people that have built it. But and I'm just hoping the other thing I've just hoped the pacing's slower, because if it darts around that track as fast as it was Jewel, then it's not going to be anywhere near as scary. But I don't know what your input is on that.
I don't know. Like for me, the general feel that I have, I don't know about any of you guys in the chats at the minute, what you're expecting in terms of the Curse at Alton Manor. But for me, I'm kind of expecting dolls and spiders.
Oh, yeah. In the advert, she turns into a spider.
And, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat, really? If you want to put it in here, you can do. You're quite welcome to. But for me, dolls and spiders don't scare me.
I do like
so I'm not really
the Easter eggs, like the Ugland thing with the corkscrew.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it doesn't say Ugland on
Wild
it, but
Mouse as well.
There's a few other Easter eggs that people are going to spot as well.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see.
This looked really kind of a low budget shot compared to everyone saying what effects they're going to have in there. And then, I don't know, these mannequins just seemed a bit... But I can understand why. They're meant to have been burned alive. Spoiler alert.
I was going to say, they've already introduced the story on the website, haven't they? Like the story behind Emily Alton. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see how she gets her revenge in a way.
It'd be interesting how much it crosses over with the attic. Yes. I'm getting vibes of the attic, and that was.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that was specifically to do with Emily Alton. I can't remember.
I don't know if that's due to like the period of a dress or something. That probably because the way that they were dressed gives it away as well. So you think the audio will make it Ben and Holly as well? What they said is true about.
Oh yeah, when all this is lit up.
Sound like Emily is talking to you throughout.
I think it'd be better. But yeah, that would be good.
I think it will be. I must admit, Alton Towers. Yes, I do complain about the sheer noise level of the speakers, but what they do mostly, from what I get in like fright, like scare mazes or anything like soundtracks and things like that, it's always quite as if there's that scare, and it's that
the bears
sudden
are here.
Sound. Hi bears, hope you well.
We're just kicking off quickly with going over the photos again. Everyone's done it on social media.
So what do you guys think in the comments? If you want to type away, go for it.
The only thing I'll say that you might have missed, Jake and Hev, is I hope the pacing's a lot slower than Jewel. Otherwise, it's going to feel very comical going flying around the whole thing while a girl goes hide and seek. I'm gonna walk out of there in my vlog probably, and everyone else can do this as well now and just go, that was the worst game of hide and seek I've ever played.
Bears escape. Are you actually scared of spiders? I would say it in the other voice for George.
One thing I was going to say about this
to.
photo is, at first when I saw this photo, I thought it was at the place where that guy pulls the electric switch down. But then I saw that pillar, and it's in that mirror. It's in the hallway. You know, it's got the mirrors hiding.
Yes.
I think that's where it is.
I've heard there's quite a bit of more advanced technology than what they've had before, but I don't know.
Yeah,
what that
I've heard a
is.
lot of like technology, and I just want to go in there and see it because
I think we won't know until on the day.
Yeah. Oh, and apparently it's going to open at midday, but I don't think Alton Towers have clarified that. I think everyone said because it was 12 o'clock at the pop-up attraction, it said 12 o'clock on the clocks. And since it had the date written around as well, everyone says midday, and they might do an opening event.
Oh, Bears, we're so sorry if we've spoiled it for you, though. I do apologise.
Well, we're going to go off into this in a minute. I just want to say it would be funny if they got Philip Schofield there again because he helped open the original Haunted Mansion. Having said that, because he got well known last year with Holly Willoughby for skipping queues, they probably don't want him in a place that has a lot of queues about. So let's go on to the main crux of this episode.
We will stop spoiling it
I think
for you.
You have a lot to say. I'm going to work backwards.
did.
I'm not going to. If anyone wants to talk about Croc Drop, we can, but we've not been on it yet. So we're going to go backwards. So the newest of these new rides, and we're going to go through opening weekends or debut seasons.
I have such nostalgia about this opening weekend, and it is because I had surgery shortly before this around
2018,
my stomach area. So I had surgery shortly after. So I still technically had some bandages on here at this point when we went to the opening weekend. But yeah, and it was lovely.
I don't know, was it?
Even though we didn't get to go on the ride, which was slightly disappointing. But the staff were still enthusiastic and quite friendly enough, weren't they, as well, at the opening weekend? But sadly, it did snow. But we got some amazing photographs because when we went to go see Wicker Man, they actually lit up, obviously, the flames within Wicker Man himself. And the music was still going off as well. And when the snow was coming down, it just looked... Oh,
it looked like ash.
I don't usually say this word, but it just looked epic. Like, it just looked like that snow. Yeah, but it was meant to be in that shot.
If you ask Alton Towers or Channel 4, especially their documentary they did, this weekend never existed. But I like the fact that the snow was coming down. It looked like ash because it was kind of looked dark against the white sky.
It was so good.
But it was just one of those things where there were quite a few people stood around going, it's going to open in an hour's time. It's going to open in an hour's time. And it never did. But at least it didn't open on the Sunday. I thought, we're going to go home and it's going to open again.
If you're an avid fan of photography, even if it snows on the day, it's just, you get such wonderful photos of like the roller coasters and things like that, or even just around the gardens as well. So obviously I know a few of my followers are like that. They really like the photography. I suggest it, even if it snows, just go. Just don't cancel, just keep going.
I don't know how well you can see it, and there's going to be more photos in a minute, but there is a fire juggler and breather in the bottom there. These are my photos from the snow weekend. Yeah, it was a bit annoying it didn't open because then we thought, there's going to be a soft opening or it's going to be this or that. But then I think it was it the weekend directly after?
I think it was, yeah.
That we went and it opened. We got ThemeparkJames there. We'll be seeing him on Saturday.
Apologies for my facial expressions, guys. I was not expecting these photos to go up, so that surprised me. But yes, such good company.
But the other cool thing that you got to do was you queued for it, and it closed while you were queuing for it. And on that first Saturday it was open, you got a night ride on it because the queue was so long.
We so did, and unfortunately, I think you went somewhere else, didn't you? Because we waited for so long in the queue, and it was me and James on the ride. And as soon as like the smoke effects hit your face, basically, as soon as you were in the first bit before you got the lift hill, it was so good. Like,
how cold was it?
The lighting and everything. It was lovely. It wasn't actually cold, to be fair, but it was it's so good in the dark. Even for those that haven't or that have never been before, I recommend going in the dark.
It could happen again
on Wicker Man.
It could happen again this weekend if the queues last long enough.
Who else thinks going on the dark on Wicker Man is just amazing?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Like, it's the full sensory thing for me. Everything was quite dark within like the pre-show, so then you're going from that darkness to then still in the darkness, and it felt like it carried it as well. The whole story carried it with you even on the ride because you were still in the dark. It was so good. But yeah, I've got weird sensory things. but
This is
yeah,
our first ever ride on it.
Oh, it's so good.
Hands up, always hands up.
It is one of the best night rides with Bears Escape. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, I just felt like it just carried the whole story with me, and I was like, I'm freaking in the flames, man. You know, I just went a bit mental.
Because the friend of ours we're going to see on Saturday, hopefully, he was called the Smiler before the Smiler was ever built. That's like his nickname in European Coaster Club. But he's sent me these photos. I think I wrote on them where they're from. They're from Theme Park Nation. But there are photos from the day.
Oh, wow.
Because from some of the people that did the Channel 4 documentary.
Look at the size of the camera. Is that a camera on his shoulders?
Yeah, that's the TV
Whoa.
people for Channel 4.
Wowzers.
And there's Sam Jones there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's something you don't see very
we
often, an
haven't
empty
seen
carriage.
ages.
Not when you're queuing at that bit, anyway. So, and also Das. I've not seen Das in ages.
Oh, Das. Oh.
Das Stars.
Yeah. I remember him.
He's still around.
I do miss them, honestly. I do miss them. Like,
look at those legs spread where he's
obviously,
holding the camera there.
We're all busy doing our own thing, and it's such good memories though.
The way he's holding that microphone, like, don't want to come near you, mate.
But yeah, definitely the best night by far now Nemi is closed. Anyone else think what would be the better ride in the dark now that Nemesis is closed?
Well, Nemesis
out
was
of all the other rides
anyway.
that you've got, which one would you have instead? If you obviously thought Nemi was the best one. Mike says Wicker Man.
It's got to be Wicker Man. Look at it. But yeah, if you've not seen the documentary, it's probably still on. Is it all for their demand service? Was that another channel theirs? On their demand service, I think you can still find it, and it's famous for me because if anyone remembers, at the end of part 3, one of the builders goes, he's effing and jeffing, as they say, and he's swearing, and he's going, "How are we going to fix this?" And you think, "Oh my god, part 4 is going to be great." Never goes back to him. It's a bait and switch. They put something at the end of part 3 to go coming up after the break, and it never happens after the break. And it's just, that's the one thing I remember from the whole documentary. And other people are like, yeah, we noticed that as well.
Oh, but you know what? That's quite a good one, that one. Smiler's cool on a full moon. I can imagine that reflecting on the tracks and stuff.
Smiler's just a bit
quite
too rough, I think.
I've never actually, this is me that likes moon phases, but never actually been on a full moon on the Smiler, so I can't really say.
I don't know if I'd prefer Smiler if it was 2 separate roller coasters. You know, the first half and second half. The first half's actually not too bad. The second half is rough, like proper bad medicine. Do not like. Yeah, definitely Wicker Man. Definitely Wicker Man. Have you got any more memories you want to bring up about opening day on Wicker Man?
I just remember the snow, and I was like,
we're going to get this on Saturday.
Let's get loads of photos because it looks magical here. We're not wasting our time.
We're going to get this on Saturday. We're going to get actors and things.
Yeah.
Depends if it opens. If they are actually going to open it at midday, they haven't said. It's just been speculated by a lot of enthusiasts. It's not going to open until 12. But there we go. It is more of the fire starters, as we call them. On the left.
Oh, on the next one.
And there's the guy who was breathing fire. And Channel 4 saying, if you don't like us filming, come tell us now or forever hold peace. I've decided not to do a section on Icon because we've still not been on it yet. But I remember when that got announced back in the day, everyone's making jokes that it was called DaggerCon because it's got a dagger and then it says con. So I thought that I'll get a brief mention. So they'll be happy with that.
Is it meant to be a katana?
Yeah, it's meant to be like. The weird thing is, the theming on that thing looks brilliant, but it kind of doesn't fit the rest of Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
See, I'd like to go there one day.
Oh yeah, we can.
I do have a week off, but obviously I'd rather go with you because it's lovely.
Oh, we can go on a weekend, yeah. It's fine.
So
you say that like we can't ever make it.
So if anyone, I'm just saying, if anyone wants to join us as well, you're quite welcome to. If we ever find out a weekend, obviously the Bears Escape will be probably regulars.
Talking about the Bears, let's talk about the Smiler. First, I want to talk about the advertising campaign. I remember both of these.
Sorry.
I don't know if you remember these. This was before we met.
I was expecting them to be bears and the sheep there. Sorry. Someone caught me by surprise.
But I don't know if you remember any of this. I'm assuming it's people watching will. I'm surprised they got away with painting sheep.
I don't remember sheep being painted.
Yeah, it was on the news, but I also remember that being all the underground in London having the Smiler logo on it. It was yeah, it was everywhere.
Thank you, Bears Escape, as well, for the shout out. Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We have to do a geek bus.
Can do.
Bear bus. There we go.
But yeah, there were a few other things, I think, as far as advertising went as well. They had, I didn't bother putting a photo in of it, but they did put the face on Big Ben as well. They really went all out with it.
Gosh, guys, you all remember the sheet. Where was I when the sheet was happening?
Well, it's 2013. It's before I met you, but I remember both of those, and I remember thinking, are they allowed to do that? This is even before we're talking about opening day for the Smiler. The ad campaigns. Oh, don't worry, everyone. If you remember the Swarm from the year before, we will be talking about the publicity stunt with the on-ride dummies. So don't worry, that's coming up. That's the hook. But yeah, I remember all this.
I don't remember any of
it.
But
you probably weren't as into rides as you were.
No,
after you met me.
To be fair, I was too busy. I think, to be fair, I was too busy with my career, if I'm quite honest. But
yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, kind of was a bit shelled in stuff.
But
I do remember it coming up on Blue Peter, and the presenters from Blue Peter were riding it.
So I remember. I don't know. You can talk about the first time you went on Smiler, but I remember opening weekend. I remember going the start of the season. It wasn't finished. I remember seeing the construction. The winter before the end of the season, it kind of just snowed really bad about a week after Towers closed in 2012. And I remember saying to Dan at the time from Ginger and Brown, that's not going to be finished by March. And everyone was like, well, you don't know what they're capable of. They could build it. And then it wasn't finished, but I kind of knew it wasn't going to be finished.
See, it sounds weird, but I don't remember my first time on the Smiler. And maybe if I don't remember it, I don't feel like it's affected me in a way. Maybe a lot of people will hate me for that, but
the Bears will, yeah.
If I don't have a lot of emotion come out of me, then it's not doing anything for me.
But,
so I don't know. Maybe it's one of those rides that I like.
Originally, there was concept art I remember seeing, but I didn't manage to turn it down in time. Originally, this had loads of plans to have viewing platforms around it as well, and then they just ran out of space. Like, knowing someone who worked there at the time in management, they struggled to actually plan out. The queue line cattle pen wasn't planned out till very close to opening, and he had to go down there and walk it out and measure it, and he said it was a hell of a problem. But and I remember, so it didn't open in March, and then it was meant to open on, I'll have to look at a calendar probably to back this up at some point, but it was meant to open on a Thursday. I think it was May 23rd. And I think I'm allowed to tell this story, but we got there on the Wednesday, me, Dan, and someone else, and then we heard it wasn't going to open on the Thursday. Then on the Thursday, they'd advertised it was being open, and then I thought you put something there. They advertised it as being open, and then the staff were out saying, no, actually, it's not going to open, which really, it was not good. It was like borderline, there might be a riot here. And then, so they didn't open on that Thursday, and it was due, they didn't get a fire exit signed off, and they should be strict on that, I guess. So they were strict on that, and that's why I didn't open on that Thursday. And then the signs got changed, so they still said May, and they managed to open it in May. And if you watch,
I remember it being May time.
The Bears Escape did a live yesterday, and they mentioned that they thought it was the 31st from one of my quizzes, and it was. It opened on the 31st of May, so it's still technically open in May. But it was a soft opening, and I didn't go, but Dan from Ginger and Brown, gets another shout out, he went with the Theme Park Jack, I think, and they got told by a friend of ours, I won't mention his name, who works there, make sure you stay near the Smiler, it is opening today. But they said when they were queuing, so many people obviously found out off other people it was opening, but they kept getting told by staff, it's not opening today, what are you doing? And eventually it did open. They got on it, and then I got down there on the Saturday, and that photo at the bottom right is outside the Just Chicken entrance, and a friend of mine called Ricky had his tripod set up, and he was waiting for the two coasters to be dueling. He was waiting there for quite a while to get that one photo, but he was so happy when he got it. And that bottom left, actually,
I think that would be cool to look at.
That bottom left photo, actually, that's a guy called Robert Holt, and yes, this was on June 1st, Saturday, June 1st, and I remember there was a load of us who do channels and stuff, and I had a different channel back then. And then I remember someone shouting my name, and if I don't know who it is, the rule of thumb, I don't know if anyone else does this, if I hear my name in a crowded place, I don't turn around the first time, because I'm like, well, there's more than one person with that name. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be someone else. And then someone kept shouting it, so I turned around, and this guy, and I'm like, got his look on my face like, I don't know you. And he was like, that was the first time. It's only happened like 3 or 4 times, but that's the first time I got an actual like viewer / fan recognised me, and then I got a photo with him and his mum and his stepdad, and his mum and his stepdad are friends with me on Facebook as well, and I probably talk to them more than him. I can't remember the last time I spoke to Rob actually.
Oh,
But it's just so funny that happened as well, because I was just like, who's shouting my name? Because it does seem like someone's trying to get my attention now. So yeah, if you shout my name in a crowded place, I don't turn around the first time. I never do, so don't be offended by that.
I was going to say, if anybody sees us, just come and say hi. You can even get a photo with us as well. On
the merch. I've not got pictures of the merch here, but the merch for this was insane. They had they had one of those weird things that keeps your mouth open. I don't know why they had that. And they had like things like glasses, and they had a cup and a pen that got leaked early that had 14 loops on it, and everyone was going mental about that. Oh, it's David, our biggest fan.
Hi, David.
And everyone's going mental about that. Like, oh, that must be the secret element. They put the loops on the merchandise, and then they got a bit annoyed that people went out early. But I remember they had a clock, and not only did it go backwards anti-clockwise, the numbers were in the wrong place. So 3 would be to the left, so to the right. But there wasn't a 3 there. It'd be like a 7 or something. It was there just to really... And now they don't sell them, and I'm like, that would actually be a cool bit of merch now. That's probably the best bit of merch they had for that ride, I think.
I think we've got a couple from our wedding of the Smiler photo frames, like the souvenir photo frames that I ended up using
Got
for
one in that room, yeah.
our wedding. Yeah, so there's a couple that
Shout out to Paul Jones. He got a load of free ones,
so
and he went,
thank
if you
you,
go
Paul.
down to the shop, they're giving away for free, getting rid of stock. So we got a load of these. Well, they're photo frames, but they're like actual boxes, and then the photo frame bit kind of sits up out of it. But we can go over Wicker Man again if David wants to say anything about it, and we can still go over Smiler. But I've got a photo here that's not ride related, but I've mentioned this on the show before. Now you tell me, I think this was entirely intentional, but Thorpe Park once had this in 2012 for their fireworks. What does that look like it's trying to say?
Oh my goodness.
And I've mentioned this to people, and they're like, what are you on about?
I can't say it, but it's glow.
Yeah. They knew what they were
else.
doing when they made that poster. All right, man. We'll see you Saturday, if not. But
Thank
yeah,
you for joining us.
I really think that Thorpe Park knew exactly what they were doing there. But I can't believe they did that. But their fireworks were never as good. Like, that's not me putting them down. They just literally had a fireworks display. There wasn't really big story or anything. But
crikey.
they're closer to houses than Alton Towers are, so they probably couldn't get away with that. But I don't know if anyone at home remembers when they used to call their fireworks events, when they used to have them. It's meant to be blows it up, but I think tongue-in-cheek, they know what they were doing.
Definitely.
But talking about Thorpe Park, they had their own publicity stunt as well.
See, is this a recent one, or what year was this one?
This was before it opened, 2012.
Oh, wow.
The Swarm was actually themed slightly around, the 2012 World's Gone In, but it was more because aliens are coming.
And aren't those dummies in the Saw queue line?
I wouldn't be surprised if some of them were.
I think.
But Saw opened in 2019.
I do remember walking past and going, "There's a lot of like broken dummies around here. It's like quite easy theming." But I'm not dissing them in any way because they're recycling and reusing. You know what I mean?
You say that. I don't know if they're the same dummies because Saw opened in 2009.
They do have mannequins in the queue line.
But
I don't know if anyone else.
If you notice in that photo,
back me up here.
Consider we're meant to believe this isn't a publicity stunt. Apart from the front row, they're all just those dummies with water in.
Oh yeah.
To simulate weight, and it's just the front ones. But I don't know. It worked. It was one of those things that people just went, "That's just silly," but it still gets them talked about.
Yeah.
But do you remember your first time on the Swarm, which probably wasn't 2012?
Do you know what? My first time on the Swarm, yeah, it was when I was just starting to go out with you, actually, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I wasn't with you I wasn't with you very long, and obviously we went to Alton Towers together for the first time. That was our first ever like theme park sort of date, and then we went to Legoland and Thorpe Park.
I don't know if the people watching will have memories of going on it during its debut season, but if anyone at home has memories
I love the sound
of when they first rode on Swarm. But I've actually got a video. ThemeparkJames, let me play. I was actually there when this happened. This was Swarm opening day, and this is still a story me and James talk about to this day. These actors, and he kind of was winding them up, and it's quite funny. So I've got this video to show you, and this was on Swarm opening day. These actors pretended to be kind of like scientists trying to see if we were all right from the alien invasion and stuff like that.
Dr. John Shrek from Chelsea Research Lab. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Of course.
Okay. How many are in your group today?
Just 5 of us.
5 of you. Where are you?
There. There's 2 there.
But there's 2 more.
Oh, no. 5 of us
Yeah.
arrived. Only 3 of us left.
What happened to the other 2?
I don't know. They were like there 1 minute.
What's the average age of your group, please?
127.
127. And is it a mixed sex group?
Yeah.
Or are you all
3 sexes.
3 sexes?
Yeah.
There are 3 sexes. And how many of each, please?
4 of one, 2 of another, and 1 of the other.
That means that there's 7 people in the group.
No, 5.
So there's 2 more missing that you don't know.
No, 2 of them have 2 sexes.
Yeah, so check that out on his channel. That's still on his channel. But yeah, also the I didn't even stop to think about that. It wasn't the opening season, obviously, but when it was the 2 back rows, wasn't it?
The first, I think the second time I went on the seats that were backwards, and the first time I went on, I was at the front row going forwards. It was brilliant, but yeah,
It
liked
was
it
kind of
before.
good. I felt like you missed the head chopper moments not seeing them forwards, but I've mentioned this before. Thought Park count that banked helix as an inversion. It's really odd.
No.
Yeah, it's not an it shouldn't be an inversion, but they count it as an inversion on their website. So yeah, she wasn't. Well, she sounded like she was drugged up. That girl, she was really slow. And
She did look like she'd got a migraine or something going off. I thought, like, just
I don't
like
know
she's
her
got
name
a headache, and she was like,
because the other guy's
sweating,
Jack Louis, who we talked about in the Sanctuary episode. We know him. Well, we knew him reasonably well then. I don't know the last time I spoke to him actually, but we know him quite well. But also they had a song for this roller coaster as well.
Oh, did they?
I'm sure the band was called, and someone will correct me if I'm wrong. They were called The Reckless, and it was "This Is the End of the World."
Is it
That was the actual song. They had the theme song for the Swarm.
The Reckless?
They're called Reckless or The Reckless, weren't they? And they did a song called "This Is the End of the World." We can look it up later.
I'm sure it was.
And that was the theme song
I'm sure it was
for-
a different band that redid it as well.
I'm sure it was a new song for the ride, wasn't it?
I don't know.
The Sneaky Ferret will tell me, I'm sure. Thought Park extraordinaire. But I was impressed with the size of it, but well, it's not really to do with the ride now, is it? But Thought Park had this thing of we can't put a ride in an area we've already established, so let's make a new area for it, and everything seems disjointed, almost like a movie park or something, where which isn't a bad thing, but it's like Saw was over there and it's Saw area, Swarm's over there in the Swarm area. It's not like when they built Stealth and they fit it in, although they made a new sort of area for it, but it was sort of merged off Amity Bay quite well.
Bearing in mind, it is like a small. It is quite a small island, though, considering.
Technically not an island, to be fair.
No, but they say it's island, don't they? But it's technically like a small island, trying to put all the big roller coasters on. So.
But yeah, they're good. It was a good ride. I mean, to look at it, the size of it is still quite impressive when you think what Alton Towers have got height-wise. I know they can't have anything too high, but and then you see something like that.
Oh, Jake from the Bears Escape, I am happy to go with you on Stealth and be like a little support buddy. Because yeah, I think it's if you like Rita, you probably like Stealth, I reckon. But it's really strange because people that are from like up north,
Does that mean?
kind of like the people that are northern like Stealth, but the people that are from down south like Rita mostly. From what I got from most people that I talked to,
Stealth
and I'm
needs a
just like,
layout
oh, it's the
after it.
opposite way, but they seem to.
But if you don't like heights, Stealth is always so quick. Almost feels like an out of body experience. I don't feel like I've been on it. It's almost like as soon as I feel that break one, I'm like, I've got the memory of just riding it a few seconds ago, but I didn't even feel like I was up there. It's over so quick, and they rarely have rollbacks now.
Yeah,
They used to have rollbacks quite
I think
a lot.
the rollbacks got me a bit worried just before we got on the ride, but then as soon as it went up and over, I was like, whoa! So yeah, it was all good. Oh.
No, I think we're going to wait until we're going to go with ThemeparkJames where after Jumanji's opened and probably do it in a weekend. But we'll We'll let you know when we're down there.
We do have an idea in mind to like venture out more to other parks this year, than compared to last year, because obviously we were.
I know, but the weird thing is, Thorpe Park. We haven't been to Thorpe Park since either 2014 or 2015.
Yeah,
the season before Darren Brown's Ghost Train. But I've never felt the need to go back. Like if I was down that way and you said you can only do 2 parks out of that, Legoland and Chessington, I'd pick Legoland and Chessington all day over Thorpe. It doesn't. When I used to go to Thorpe really often, you could ride everything, and I did actually once. There was a day. It was a Wednesday after they were meant to close. They were hurrying out to John Lewis, so they stayed open on the Monday and Tuesday. Hardly anyone went on the Monday and Tuesday, and we went on the Tuesday, some of us, and there was like no queues for anything. And I just remember thinking, I've been on everything as much as I want today, and it still feels like my day isn't complete. And I just feel like that's always the way at Thorpe Park, but I'm not trying to diss it. Just doesn't. It's a good park, especially if you've not been before. If you've been before, I feel like the more times you go to Thorpe, the more you see the cracks in the armor. Whereas if you go like once a year or less, it's probably good. That's why, even though I've not been in a while, but when I used to go loads, it was like, well, yeah, this isn't. The first time I went to Thorpe was 2006, and I'd gone to Alton Towers so many times, even though I lived down south. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. It's much closer, and they got all these rides and stuff. And then I'd go all the time, and I don't know. The Sneaky Ferret will be able to tell me. Have they painted Zodiac yet? Because when they got Zodiac, the second one, they bought it off Drayton Manor, and at first, the first season or two, they decided not to paint it. And I can't remember if they have painted it since. Yeah, when Jumanji opens, we're going to do Chesterton, but because that's in the area, and we're staying with ThemeparkJames. We're staying at his house, so we'll probably do Thorpe then, is what we mean.
So you said do. So do
that's a wing rider.
Half a day of one and half a day of another, isn't it?
Just to go back to no, we go to a full day each.
Oh, that may be a full day. Woo.
But to go back to this, could you imagine a family park like Chesterton going, look what happened on our Jumanji ride, our Jumanji wing rider? Could you imagine if they put that front and centre and went, yeah, Jumanji wing rider just takes your legs off. People be like, I'm not putting my kids on that.
They should have got a load of cuddly monkeys.
Oh, how many people
the
in the
Americans
chat
have cuddly bears?
Even though we knew it probably wasn't going to happen, how many people in the chat were annoyed that the mandrill trains aren't furry? Because I was hoping they would be, even though they get waterlogged. So that was 2012, but in 2010 there was a certain other ride that opened. He didn't actually realise he'd rode it with John Wardley either.
Oh my word!
Yeah. These are all from opening day itself, to show you how busy it was.
Gosh.
They got stopped near what was Storybook Land back then, and they were kind of batched through to Dark Forest quite slowly.
Wow, this is, well, for me it's my career. I started uni back then. Like, that's how old I am.
I know he's blurred out, but John Wardley looks a lot younger in the face there, doesn't he?
He does. Not changed a bit though, to be fair.
And yeah, I have got another video. Not sure about Zodiac. Oh God,
is Zodiac
the swarm area?
I'm trying to remember what
disrepair.
Zodiac,
then is
was
it?
Zodiac the one where it kind of?
It's like Enterprise.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah. I haven't actually been on that one.
But it was painted like turquoise, blue, and yellow, and then something happened. I remember it hit some bushes or a tree at some point, and something happened, and they got a new one off. They just bought Drayton Manors, but they didn't bother painting it at first. I don't even know if it said Drayton Manor on it. I know it was red and white. But I've got another video here of GMTV's coverage of 13, and they say something that sounded. Even I remember when I watched it the first time, it sounded quite familiar. So I put something at the end that reminds you of something that sounds very familiar to 13. But this was, I think it was before the season started. It might have been just a week or two into it. And when GMTV went to Ride 13.
Now then, not all of us like roller coasters, and thankfully we don't all have to go on them. We just send reporters instead, like you, don't we?
Justin, however, is an expert. Justin, quickly, before we go, top tips for me.
Keep your eyes open. Don't close your eyes.
Keep my eyes open. Oh, my goodness. Okay, here we go now. Oh, God. Oh. Okay. Is it finished now? No,
you wish it had finished. Now comes the surprise.
No. What's it going to do? I don't want it to do anything bad. I don't want it to do anything bad. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. No. And now it's going backwards.
You're one of the first people ever to drop vertically on a roller coaster.
Okay. So different. What makes that unique?
Well, it has the world's first vertical drop on a roller coaster.
Oh my goodness.
It is the world's first vertical drop roller coaster, so as you can imagine.
To be fair to Justin from ACC, who you see in that video, he was told he had to say that by Alton Towers, so he really didn't like the fact he had to say it was the world's first vertical drop on a roller coaster, because it had, even though they were meant it in a different way, they were using the exact same phrase they'd used for Oblivion. But
he's a well-respected man, though.
Yeah,
much respect for that guy.
They always roll him out when like
organising everything together, photos, everything.
But they always get hold of him on ITV as well. If like Smiler crashes, they got him out, and he had to bear the brunt of that. And they got him out when, I don't know if anyone remembers this, and enthusiasts kind of knew it was going to happen. But if you're like I wouldn't say diehard enthusiast, but when Wicker Man, they were first talking about Wicker Man, a lot of the news were talking about a really bad wooden coaster accident that happened at a park in Battersea like decades ago, and they thought it was going to happen again, and he had to kind of put down claims that no, it's not, it's perfectly safe. But I remember they rolled him out for that on the news, and it wasn't very good. Oh god, this is to do with Swarm.
Lots of graffiti. I also remember they started painting on one of the Colossus supports, and they just stopped and was like that for the whole season.
Was someone walking into it? Was it one of the ones that goes down to the park?
I was going to say there's a few people. I remember a few people walking into them, but
and now that's getting retracked. Maybe that's why they stopped. They're like, actually, we're going to retract the thing. So
move the support somewhere else.
Do you remember your first? Do you remember your first ride on 13?
Yes, it wasn't with you.
No.
It was. I was all right with it. The only time I remember it was where the air cannons went off when it went into the tower, and the air cannons went off, and one blasted right in my ear, and I couldn't hear for the rest of the day. But obviously, they're not as harsh as they were back then. And I literally kept holding my ear. I felt like PJ, Prince John from Robin Hood, going, "Oh, something hissing in my ear," sort of thing all the time. It was.
Do you remember? How did you feel when you came off that? Were you happy with it, or did you know what was going to happen before you went on?
No, I didn't have a clue, and I kind of liked the Tesla coil as well that was going off.
In the
that actually made me jump. There's me and a friend, because it was an old school friend, that actually dropped to the floor a little bit because we weren't expecting it. But I could feel the vibration of the floor, and I was like, wait a minute, something's going off here. And as soon as I turned to look, it just was, ah! And it timed the Tesla to then do the spark on it, or the static, or whatever you call it. And yeah, it was, I thought it was really good, that. And then as soon as I went on, I was like, okay, let's do this. And as soon as I sat there, felt something moving, I was like, oh, I've got a sinking feeling. And then obviously it happened. I don't want to spoil it for people that have never been on it before.
I've seen the video.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you've just tuned in and you've never been on it before. But yeah, it's I think I've got quite fond memories of that. And every time we go on, there's always someone that's never been on it before. And sometimes we go on it and I like pretend like I have no idea what's happening. Go, oh my gosh, what's happening? And not pretend scream, but just be like, oh my gosh, the floor's breaking, and all sorts. But then, yeah, there's other times where I'm like, just sit there quietly and just hear everyone else's reactions. It's good to see other people's emotions, I think, towards attractions.
First time I went on this, I was with people that didn't really want to go on it. So I went on single rider, and I was quite blown away from it, even though I knew what was going to happen. I just thought, that's really cool. Because there wasn't really anything like it. I don't think Verbolten had been built by then. For people that know about Verbolten, and I just thought it was really good. And this was actually my favourite roller coaster until Wicker Man opened. And I've never really been a fan of. To me, Nemesis is like a solid 8, but it's never to me been. But I think it's because when I was a kid, before I could ride roller coasters or be tall enough, it was always drilled into me. Nemesis is the best. And not only did it put it on a pedestal, you almost didn't want to like it because people had gone, this is the best ride, you're going to like it, it's the best ride, it's the best. And you just get that drilled into you all the time, and it puts me off it sometimes.
I think for me, when people say, what's your favourite ride? Yes, I'll choose probably Air, but for me, it's more, what fun memories do I get from riding it the first time? And I think I would say Air because of that. But at the same time, it's like, well, Nemesis was there when I went on a school trip. So I have very fond memories of that as well. Everyone was panicking the fact that they were going to lose the trainers. And I just remember people taking their shoes off and leaving them where the baggage thing was as well. So it's little things like that that I kind of remember. And I do appreciate Nemesis for that. At the same time, it's like I got a taste for what was to come later on in life of riding roller coasters. So in a way, I'm appreciative of all these roller coasters that I first got to go on that are not here anymore as well. And even the theme parks, like American Adventure was one of my first ones. So
we haven't showed people. You got a bit of merch from there, haven't you?
oh my gosh, yes. But
you have to take a photo and put it on Instagram.
I will have to one day.
One day. Do you think the ladder's coming back? Anyone at home as well? Because if you notice in the station, there used to be a ladder you had to walk under in the queue line when you got up the stairs into the building. And if any eagle-eyed people last season will notice that ladder was gone. So does anyone think the ladder's coming? That's going to be my main thing. Is the ladder back? Is the ladder back?
Were you with me when they had that emergency stop in the tower?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. This was shortly after the Smiler incident that we won't talk about, obviously. But it was shortly after that. As we went to the theme park, we had some young children behind. Well, young children, youths.
What event you
behind us when we stopped. Do you remember? Do you not remember it?
I'm talking about us getting stuck on 13.
Yeah,
You're talking about when we get to the theme park.
No, as in like, no, I said when we got into the tower bit of the, I don't know if you call it the tower bit, but the bit before it goes.
Yeah.
But as soon as we got in that tower bit, there was some youngsters behind us, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna hurt us. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that," and they started filming, and I just literally was like, "The staff know what they're doing. Let them tell you what to do." And I actually turned around and said, "Let them do their job." And
for those who don't know, it was the last ride of the day, and basically the ride got stuck at the top of the crypt.
The crypt, sorry, I keep saying the
no,
tower
it was
bit,
just the fact.
The tower bit. Sorry.
Yeah, the ride got stuck. The ride ceased to be, and
but the staff were. I must admit, credit to him, because I think I was the second to last to get off, and I said, "Bear with me because I get vertigo," and I could see right down past the track bit, and they offered to lend out a hand to me to get me out of the coach bit.
That could be the Bear Escapes new catchphrase. Whenever someone asks them a question, they can just say, "Bear with me."
Oh, but
so we got stuck at the top of the crypt, and the lights came on, and I thought it was a joke because it was the last ride of the day, and then they were on the tannoy thing going, "Oh, we're going to get you out soon," and I was like, "Well, they're going to drop it in a minute, and it's going to be meant to catch us off guard and all this stuff." And then they actually came in the door at the top, and they were like, "Right, we've got to get you out of this battery pack." Because most good roller coasters have a battery pack to let you out. I've got evac from quite a few coasters in my time.
See, that was my first ever. I think that was my first ever evac.
And there's some girls either in front or behind us who were hysterical because they thought they were scared to get out of it.
Yeah, and they got the phones out.
And then we got a load of fast track or ride passes, and we had to sign something to say we were all right with everything. But basically, they bribe you with fast tracks to not. Well, there's nothing to sue them over anyway. They did their job.
No, they were absolutely lovely, and they were talking you through it bit by bit as well, particularly if you're a bit nervous with heights, which I did announce going.
Here's a question. Question for anyone watching: does it count if you get evac'd in the brake run? Because a ride that used to be at Leesburg called Cononan, we got evac'd in the brake run, and someone who was with us was like, who does coaster creds, said, "Oh, that doesn't count. We didn't go back to the station, so we had to queue for it again." It wasn't a great coaster, to be fair, and I was like, But 13, I've got great memories of going back to that.
You do,
but it's not as good as Wicker Man. I seem to like all these rides that have horror aspects to it. Also, I don't know if I've told anyone this before. 13, the story's quite vague, but to me, I think it's a prequel to Hex. I think the girl from the advert follows her dog into the forest, and she becomes the 13th Wraith, which is also the old woman from the Hex story, and it ties in.
Ooh,
that's what I think. I don't know if anyone has ever thought about that, but that's what I've always thought.
God.
The girl in 13 became the 13th Wraith, and
what do you think? I think that's quite good.
Including the Wraiths in the station and the ones in the crypt, there are 13 to be fair.
And she's got a hood, hasn't she? When she
I haven't got any photos really because of Rita, but I've got a video, and this is an advert I've talked about before, and it's a bit like that Jewel thing when I said that door used to open and shut as an effect. No one believes me. I always go, "Oh, do you remember that Rita advert that was really random?" of the guy in the mountains, and everyone goes, "What are you talking about?" And I've tracked it down, so I'm going to play you this advert. I always think of this when I think about when Rita first opened. It's such a tangent of an advert compared to what they do now, but this was one of the adverts they ran on TV for Rita. I remember watching it.
Sometimes your memories are all you got. Make sure they're good ones. Like being launched from 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds on the new Rita Queen of Speed ride at Alton Towers. Make some great memories. You might need them someday.
Oh my gosh, I don't
But
even
no
remember
one
that.
remembers. Yeah, no one remembers it, and they always think I'm making it up. And I'm like, well, there you go. I've shown it now. So, but I didn't bother getting any photos of Rita really because I don't know. I don't hold it in high regard. But I don't know if you're going to turn around and say it wasn't a secret weapon.
What, Rita? See, I don't. No, it's one of them that I don't like. I'll go on it every once in a while. I don't go on it as much as I used to. So, but it's not. I think I'd rather go on Stealth again than Rita. But I know you shouldn't compare the two.
You can compare the two if you want.
But,
People compare Nemesis Inferno.
Mm.
They should never have called it Nemesis Inferno. Then it wouldn't have been dragged around. So this happened when Stealth opened.
Oh.
It kind of speaks for itself, really.
Oh, did he want to say Godspeed at the end? Please tell me he said Godspeed.
I haven't got his exact speech.
Oh my gosh, I'd love to know what his speech was. Sorry, that's just really enthusiastic of me there.
Do you remember the first time
I think
you
that's
rode
the only bit I can actually...
I don't think you would have ridden it any time near when it opened in 2006.
But that's the only bit that I can relate between the two of Vicar and that.
Do you remember your first time on Stealth? It probably wouldn't have been near when it opened, though.
No.
No?
Well, I do, actually. It was the first, like, obviously tallest roller coaster where I actually kept my eyes open at the top.
Oh, you not keep your eyes open on the Pepsi Max big one?
The big one, I kind of did. And as soon as it turned on the big one, when I was younger, as soon as it, like, because it rears to the right, doesn't it? So as soon as it rears to the right and went down, I was kind of like, oh, and then I grabbed the bars and looked down at my feet. So technically, I didn't actually look up at that point, but I did when we got to the very top, and just yelled, "I can see my hotel from here." But yeah, I opened my eyes at this one and I was like, wow, and then immediately we were back down again by the time I realised that we were up high, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. It's cool.
Do you think it's one of the better rides at Thorpe Park?
It's up there with Stealth for me.
It is Stealth.
No, is it there with the Swarm for me? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so tired right now. This is why I don't sound enthusiastic. But, yeah, it's up there with Swarm and Stealth are the two for me.
Oh, not Nemesis Inferno then.
But it's all the ones beginning with S. Swarm, Stealth, and Saw.
And Smiler.
No, because that's not at Thorpe Park. It's all the S's at Thorpe Park. So I don't know if there's any other. I can't remember if there's any others that begin with S, but it's all the S's at Thorpe Park that I quite like.
Are you looking forward to? Is it Twisted? I can't remember what it's called now. That new one they put, the new Retro Squad ride.
Twisted.
I can't remember what it's called now. It's not going to be great, is it?
Oh, I don't know about that one. Well, I've seen a picture of it, but I don't know the actual name of it. But it seems okay. I'd happily have a go on it.
Yeah, we can. We'll be there Saturday.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be there Saturday if they're not at Blackpool.
Yeah.
So, but next week we're going to have a friend of ours called Joss on he's from the Theme Park Guide, but he's also from JD's Booze Reviews. And we're going to be, I think we're going to show it in the week, but we are going to review a beer. I'm going to get a can of it and he's going to get a can of it. We're going to review a beer or two on the show. So that'd be good.
Yeah, you can do that.
I'm not an expert. I used to do beer reviews. And funny enough, one of our most viewed videos on our channel is for the zero alcohol Corona, which is actually probably the best zero alcohol beer you can get. Tastes like what it's meant to taste like. But going to have Joss on next week. I'll put links for all James's stuff in the description and where I got some of the photos from and the video clips. But I think we'll be just about done unless someone was talking about anything really. I mean, we talked about the curse at the start. Some of you might have missed that. I'm looking forward to it.
Anyone celebrating St. Patrick's Day as well?
That's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yep. Or Red Nose Day. Hence the red top. But yeah.
They couldn't see that. We
Just
had
have
overlays
lots
the whole
of
show.
fun, guys. I know. Apologies if I've not been that enthusiastic, but I am tired.
So you're looking forward to Saturday then?
I am looking forward to Saturday, and I will make sure that I have enough sleep before we actually start the day.
If it's on the menu, are you going to have a donut burger? Because we're going to do a donut takeover.
I would love to, but sadly, I don't think my stomach will be able to handle it. So I'll just stick with a packet of popcorn, thanks.
And
or something healthy.
We'll see Richard Smiler Jones for our
I'll be vlogging your guys' reactions if you join us on the donut burger takeover.
Probably not going to sell it now. I think it's going to serve us right.
For me, I don't think my tummy will handle it. It's too much to eat, I think. So. And
yeah, Joe from Theme Park Insanity's got to meet up at 12 at the Curse. If anyone's there for that, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I assume it's probably going to open at 12, but at the same time, they haven't actually said anything about it waiting till 12 to open it. Just everyone's going on that pop-up had the clock on it, didn't it? Mm. But apart from that, that's what's happening. There's going to be too many people to meet on that day, I think. I'm trying to meet Matt from Breaking Trails.
I do have some pop badges, guys. So if anyone wants a pop badge, just say hello and I'll see if I can hand you one as well. They are limited.
It's Twistertron, that's it.
They are on our old logo as well. Thank you, Ben and Holly. Twistertron.
The worst bit of that advert wasn't Twistertron. It was the fact that I didn't realise they got rid of the waltzers. I was just like, oh, that's one that we did like.
I really like the waltzers. Maybe that's just because it's the sort of fairground rides. I quite like fairground rides.
It's the fact they've put it right next to the other Retro Squad ride. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited about it, and it's really weird that the ride's white in colour. I don't know. It just seems like it's going to stand out for all the wrong reasons, but I don't know. We'll see what we'll see. I mean, Retro Squad aren't on my list of what I must ride. I'll go on the Curse, and then see what else is about. I'm not too interested in seeing what the Nemesis site looks like at the moment. It's almost like, I don't know. It's a really weird time to be an enthusiast because people got so emotional last year, and it's almost like, I don't know. It's like it's coming back though. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm on about. It's kind of like, yeah, but it's come after a year off. It's coming back. They're retracking it,
and they've done it before.
What I find interesting is
I think they've done it before.
Some friends of mine are actually having doubts about, yeah, but it's not going to be the same, is it? And I'm like, because until then, everyone's like, the retract's amazing. It's going to make it last longer and all this. And now people are starting to think. So I'd be interested to see if it rides the same, but I'm not too interested in getting viewage of the ride area. Really, it's so many people going to be down there taking photos anyway. I don't need to. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say we'll know about. I mean, it sounds horrible, but we'll know about the updates from Theme Park Insanity. We'll know the updates from iCoaster as well. There's other people that we've actually met along through our show that we kind of get updates through anyway. So obviously, if anyone wants to come on the show and discuss it, DM us. But yeah. Pardon?
Can't come on next week or the next few weeks.
We're fully booked. But yeah, if you're quite welcome to if you want to just DM us on Instagram. Obviously, our socials are at the top as well. If there's any other way of getting in touch with us. And
just enjoy.
I'm so sorry.
Enjoy Alton Towers if you're there because it's going to be packed. And enjoy Blackpool Pleasure Beach if you're there because it's not going to be packed. Yeah, it does look out of place where it is. It looks so out of place where it is.
I'm quite excited, but at the minute,
I'm not excited for X Sector at all. Like normally, I like Oblivion a bit, but X Sector to me is like I could take or leave it. No, it's just like, well,
I really wish they could do more Oblivion merch.
Well, they got rid of the shop. That's why.
Yeah. I do miss the Oblivion merch. If I'm quite honest.
Will there be a Curse Alton Manor version of Monopoly? Because they normally do that with the new ride.
Ooh.
I tell you what, that'd be cool if they did like, well, there's several variations of like board games that are that themed around Haunted House where you build bits of it on. They did that, and it looked like the Curse Alton Manor. That'd be cool.
I remember. I don't remember the name of it, but when I was a kid, they actually had like this like plastic sort of kind of like board game, And obviously, as you go along this sort of like haunted mansion thing, you'd move your counter along. But then if you landed on a certain space, this marble would come through the house, and it literally would knock your counter off through the windows and the doors of the house as the marble went down. But it was only triggered at certain points that you'd get knocked off, and then obviously you'd start again. Oh, it was awesome. I can't remember the name of it. My mum bought it me for Christmas, and my dad. And I'm like, I actually can't remember the name of it.
What if they did the Curse Alton Manor?
How cool would that be?
What if they did the Curse Alton Manor Cluedo, and then you had players like Henry Hound, and it was Henry Hound with the banister rail in the bathroom. It was John Wardley with the lead pipe in the conservatory. You know, they could do that. There's so many ideas for merch they never go through with. I think people would actually buy that, but it's just me. I'm looking forward to it. That's all I can say, really. I'm looking forward to getting on it, and hopefully not queuing that long, and then I'll be all right. But till then, it's like, oh, I might turn up and the queue's going to be big, but I'm going to have to ride it because it's new and I want to see what it's like. Once I've been on it, it's like, right, that's done. Let's go do something else now. Don't have to queue any longer.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. Just give us a like as well. Share it amongst your friends and subscribe. They're all quite welcome to add it in the comments as well if they want to put it on the comments later on in the live. But yeah.
And also, David Blythe, you have to message us and tell us what Blackpool's like, because I think you're going there this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But that's how quiet it is. How bad for business it's been that they're opening this weekend. Oh, you're going to get on so much stuff. I know Loops and Lap Bars is going, so get in touch with him as well. And yeah, I'm pretty much done early tonight.
Yeah. So we'll see you on opening day, most of you lot. Obviously, I've got the pop badges. If everyone wants to come and have a photo with us, you can do, and we'll tag you in, and you tag us or whatever. But it's nice to network and get to know like-minded people and friends. But we'll see you
in the rear view.
Because for now,
we're gone.